Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day that ends in Y. Yes, happy new moon. So technically, the new moon is going to be tomorrow, Sunday the 8th, for those of you in the Northern Hemisphere. Yep. Hold on. I'm kind of checking something, and we're going to see what happens. I want to make sure I don't mess it up. I hope you guys are having a good day. Sorry. All right. So I was kind of rearranging things. So I want to make sure everything's still connected correctly. There I am. I am all right. Just took a moment for myself to catch up with myself. Yep. All right, so this is Paisley Wild, and we're off adventuring into the spaces between. We're being broadcast live tonight, of course, on Truth Frequency Radio, iHeartRadio, Tune In, and TalkStream Live. And also on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Hope you guys are having a good day. Make sure you hit that thumbs up and the like button and all that stuff. You know the drill. And, of course, no matter how you are listening, make sure you stop in and say hello in one of the chat rooms. I didn't think I bumped anything that much. There, is that better? Hope that's better. And, say hello in one of the chat rooms, or you can always give me a call, because the call line is open. That number is 213-233-399, or excuse me, 3998. Or if you're across the pond in the UK, it is 44-203-393-2871. Or you can always send me the email at wildepaisley@gmail.com. Yeah, I can be reached all those ways. Or if you want to just learn about me, what I'm doing, or send me questions through the chat, the website is paisleywild.com. So that's www.paislewilde.com. I had to stop thinking, how do I spell my name? Sigh. And if you want to just support my my radio habit, you can do so by going to nope, stop. No, Kimber. I am not available to have the dog lick me right now. All right. Yeah, I see the dead air on TFR, and I'm not sure why. Can you hear me now on TFR? I don't know. Every time I think I have the technology figured out, apparently I don't. I don't know why. It should be working. I have not untouched a button. Yep. Nope, I don't. That should be working. Hold on. Let me see if I can. Well, we'll just do this. Okay. Weird. That is very weird. And we'll do this button. Maybe. Am I there, Lucky? Maybe. Hello? Is anybody out there? Yes, smart tech. Exactly, Leo.
We're sorry. The participant capacity.
We're sorry. The participant capacity. Apparently, that is bizarre. What's this? We're going to hang up that one because I don't know what that's all about. And calls. We're going to do this one. Hi. Can you hear me now? I don't know if you can hear me or not. Hold on. Let me see what does Lucky say. Yay. I think she can hear me now. Yes, 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 yes. I hope so. All right, cool. So now we're going to see. Okay, we're going to try the call board now. And we'll see what it does. It's thinking. So if the call board is working, it'll come on. We'll see what happens. Hey, I think I'm there. There's weird noise in the background. Okay, cool. I just might not have the call board tonight, guys. That may be the thing. So if that's the case, I'm sorry. I'm trying. All right. Well, that says I'm all going. Anyways, so for those of you just joining on Truth Frequency Radio, this is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. And yeah, it's an adventure already. So we have new moon energy coming up. Maybe that's what the deal is. Because yeah, gotta have new moon energy, right? I'm drinking lemon water tonight. And maybe I should have started off with something stronger. All right, so those of you in TFR world, the call line is open. That number is 213-233-3998. Website, paisleywild.com. Email is wildepaisley@gmail.com. Nope. Looks like we're just going to not pay. Apparently phone lines are not working, guys. I'm sorry. Just for some reason, it's just not going to cooperate. Not sure why, but we're just going to roll with it. So if you have a question, send me the message in one of the chat rooms, or you can send me the email at wildepaisley@gmail.com. Do have my phone, so I will see the email if it pops up. Other than that, I suppose since you have some time to do some research, because apparently I have issues, I'm having a technical issue, maybe. You can check out iLife.com. iLife is the official sponsor for Truth Frequency Radio, and iLife combines the unleaded or non-psychoactive properties of the ayahuasca, along with some high-quality CBD to help cure what ails you, support your systems, your functions, you know the jazz, keep you on an even keel and move it along. It's good stuff. I use it. You should use it. Yep, not sure what the dealio is, but we're going to roll with it. And maybe we'll roll with it. I'm going to stop touching things here in a moment because I'm going to break it. Leo says, coffee. Sure, Justin. Have some beer while you're at it. Thanks. So just a little weather update because, I've been whining about the weather here. It's so hot and the fires are burning and everything. Well, we had a little bit of rain today. Not enough to do much more than get everything a little damp, knock down the dust a bit. But you know what? It's still good. We still need that rain, and I'm glad it fell. I wish it could have fallen a little bit more, but I'll take it. I'm not complaining at this point. No. Nope, not complaining. Because I can see the smoke from my house now. When it gets dark, I can look outside and I can see the fires, the orange and red glowing embers on the mountain. And even though it is destructive, I'm trying to keep in mind that it is a form of rebirth. And we do need that energy too, the energy of rebirth. Born of fire, that's a real thing, guys. So, But, just want to think of the wildlife that is kind of being displaced and not real sure what's going on. So we're paying attention, keeping the chickens under control because they don't need to be fodder for the neighborhood wildlife. Now, that being said, as I mentioned yesterday, there was a raven in my yard with my chickens. I still think it's cool. I'm going to think it's cool probably for a very long time because that's awesome. And he was huge. He was a big bird. Now, we've had a nesting pair of ravens here on the property for a couple of years. And I have to tell you, raven chicks are cute, fluffy little fluffies. One of those things you'd want to hold them and squeeze them and just pet them until they didn't want to be petted anymore because they're cute and they're fluffy. They're so fluffy. So, tomorrow we are going to be doing the regional ritual tomorrow to kind of help get the rain flowing and put some of the fires out. So, about 11 o'clock Pacific time, if you guys want to put some energy into it, helping with the, think positive thoughts towards the environment and, rain where it needs to fall. And I'm not saying we need to alter the weather patterns because I do think the patterns are shifting. Just stabilize them so there's a little bit of control and it's not quite so all over the place. Maybe the transition could settle a little sooner rather than later. If you're picking up what I'm putting down there. So, but since we talked about how much I'm missing campfires last night, I got to thinking, something I didn't really talk about much last night was that's AM, Leo, so 11 a.m. Pacific time. So just as you're eating your lunch, early lunch, that kind of thing, just think positive whenever you have a moment for tomorrow, and just lend your energy to settling the weather system a little bit. Anyways, yeah, with campfires and sitting around the fire in a community type situation, I got to thinking I didn't really talk about music or drumming or anything like that, and it's a really important aspect of magic anymore is the drumming. And there's magic to drumming itself, not just the rhythm of it, but the shamanic side of it. And there's a lot of history with drumming, so I figured we'd talk about it. Leo calls it second coffee at 11 a.m. I thought that was 8 a.m. personally, but sure, okay. Hey, Julia. So, drumming, what is it, If you've never been around a drumming or a drum circle, well, a drum circle, basically, is just a group of people playing drums together in a unified rhythm while sitting or standing in a circle. Pretty straightforward. Percussion type instruments. Sure, you can bang on whatever solid surface you have, clap your hands, stomp your feet, that kind of thing. But there are drums out there, hand drums that you can use. Excuse me. And sometimes that energy that comes with a drum or drumming, rhythm, percussion, is really integral to a ritual in general. So, it's kind of important. Just kind of. So, when it comes to drumming in general, or the drum circle, and I've got links in the show notes, of course, because there's a couple different examples. There's I think a Blackfoot Confederacy website, drummingreview.com. There's Native American drums. I don't know. Have you guys ever been to a powwow? Well, yeah, Julia. Yes. So Julia asked a question. She says, "How do you move across the country?" Well, honestly, you liquidate everything that you absolutely don't have to move. Your furniture, Your furniture, your furniture, your furniture. If it's not an antique, if it's not an heirloom, do you really need it? No, seriously. In today's society, you can pick up new furniture relatively easily anywhere. Excuse me. So, yes, you can hire movers to pack you up and load you into a truck and drive you somewhere else, or you can do it yourself. Either way. But my recommendation is downsize to the bare minimums. And if you do rent a U-Haul or similar type of vehicle, that way you can condense it into the smallest possible space. And if possible, yes, you do want to go find a place to live at your destination before you move, just because it's hard. It's hard to find a place to live nowadays with all the different housing changes that we've been experiencing. You don't want to sell everything, pack everything up, and that doesn't sell, and you don't give away, and move across the country and find out you're living in your car for the next 6 weeks. Unless that's your thing. Personally, not quite so excited about living in the car. I'm 5'8", 5'9"-ish, and sleeping in the car at my age just is not the same as it was when I was 20. I'm just saying. So, but yeah, downsize as much as possible. I mean, unless you've got like heirlooms that you want to keep, you can get rid of everything. Buy new when you get there, or newer, newish. And that's the big thing. And depending on what state you're moving to, if you're just moving from, say, Idaho to Montana, that's not that far. You could probably do it in a couple weekends with a couple of trips. But when you're moving across the country, for instance, consider the cost per cubic foot that you're paying to haul it across the country versus the cost to replace it when you get there. And just, weigh your variables. So, yes, drumming, back to drumming. Squirrel moment, but back to drumming. Powwows. Have you ever been to a powwow? I know quite a few people have here in the U.S., and in other countries there's other indigenous or first people, first tribes ceremonies that you might be able to attend. I know, like the didgeridoo, for instance. I love that sound. That's fantastic. Scottish bagpipes, but Scottish drums. Wow. But the Japanese drums too. I'm a band geek. I was in marching band. So, I just, the rhythm, the power that goes into music and with drums is just visceral. I don't know how to say it other than visceral. Don't worry, Julia. Ask me tomorrow when I see you. But yes, that visceral, powerful, rawr type music. There's a reason why the Scottish warlords, they had war drums. Yes, war drums are a big deal. Not just to help you march in space, but just to overwhelm your opponent. Because, yeah, drums. So, I've been to a powwow, and I have to tell you, even though I am not descendant of first tribes here in the U.S., I am pretty doggone white, European in ancestry. But if I go to a powwow, it is, I have to tap my toes to the rhythm of the drum. If I'm around a drum circle, I have to tap my toes or my finger against my arm or my leg. I have to be moving, because the rhythm of the drum, it calls to me and it gets into my blood, which is just mesmerizing and fantastic. And that roar, that energy, yes, goosebump energy. And if you have a chance to participate in any of those types of drum situations, the rhythms of the drums really do call you to a different time, a different place, a different world. And it's very much like you're feeling the heartbeat, if you will, of the universe, the earth, the world around you, the people around you. And it's just that that rhythm, yeah, it's the heartbeat. And drums have such a rich history throughout society, all societies. Whether it's a gourd filled with seeds to make a rattle, or a hollowed out turtle shell, or bones that you bang together, antlers that you clack together, any of that. The beating and that rhythm is a way to call the attention of the gods and the spirits around us, and to draw them to you and to your ritual and what you're doing. Oh my, Justin. Be careful with the peyote. But yeah, that rhythm calls to the spirits, and it draws their attention to what you're trying to achieve. Excuse me. And as they're lending their attention, they're also lending their energy. Sorry, I've had to be using my inhaler a little bit more this week with the smoke, and I'm feeling it right now. So there are quite a few different types of drums. So within the Native American culture, there are a few types of drums. So we're going to start there just because we are in the U.S., or I'm in the U.S. Some of the common native drums. So the first one here is the water drum. And it's among the Iroquois. And it's a small wooden drum. It has a tanned hide to beat on it. And you put water in it. And depending on how wet you get it, the drum produces different sounds. The yaqui also makes a water drum and is made out of a gourd that's been cut in half and is placed in a basin of water. And then the shaman or a drummer will hit the gourd with a stick. And then the vibrations are produced, which cause the water to resonate. You can do something similar with a singing bowl. You can put water within the singing bowl even to change the pitch. Hey, Brent, how's it going? Yes, the smoke. Another type of drum common among Native Americans, not so much today as they were years ago, is the foot drums. So those originated with the tribes in California and the South American Southwest. That would be the Aztec and the Hopi, and often the foot drums were hollowed out logs placed over wooden pits or wood-lined pits, so that when you stomped on them, it would have a tapping type of sound. So Brent of Paranormal Portal says drums are a frequency. Everything is a frequency, and the drums help to align our frequency to that of the spirit world. Yes, absolutely. It drives us there. It drives them to us. We connect, and it's explosive and awesome. Hand drums are probably about the most common drums in general, not just with the Native Americans. And it's generally a double-sided hoop drum. And often it'll have rawhide on both sides. And the Tarahumara Indians use them. There's also the spinner drum. So it's a smaller drum. It's on a pole or a stick of some sort. And so the head of the drum sits on the stick, and it's got little strikers on each side. If you've seen Karate Kid Part 2 or number 2, when they're doing the fight scene between the Karate Kid and the bad guy, and Miyagi picks up the drum and starts twisting it back and forth, it's a spinner drum. It makes a bang bang on the drum. It's not very loud, but it's very rhythmic. And then the powwow drums. So powwow drums are big kettle type drums. They're huge. Think timpani drum. And often they're on a wooden base. They're a wood frame, and they've got dry deer hide or buffalo hide on both sides. And then the powwow drum keeps the beat as the elders sing in harmonization or counterpoint to the beat to inspire the dancers to dance and to call the spirits to witness the dancing as well. Oh, that's cool. So Justin says, I was in a drum circle in the Ochoco Mountains in Oregon at a gathering, and a double rainbow came over the horizon, and then the forest erupted with howls. Talk about some goosebump inspiring sounds in a moment. That would be fantastic to experience. I get goosebumps just thinking about it. Oh, yeah. So within the Native American drum, generally speaking, it involved a wooden base with an animal hide. Either logs were hollowed out or shaped, and then the leather would be soaked in water for a little bit to loosen it and make it pliable, and then be stretched over the log or the frame and then dried. And different hides had different spirit energy to them. And historically, the hides would come from elk or deer. Today, it's often cowhide. And then the shape of the drum itself was symbolic as well. And they would use pretty much everything from an animal because that's part of the culture. There's no waste. And then they would color and paint and stain the different frames as well. I'm going to stop there. And because we're already going to break. That's what I get for having some tech issues first, right? Anyways, off to break, and when we come back, we'll continue talking about drums and such.
Kali, Nana, Isis, Astarte, Diana, Hecate, Demeter, Kali, Nana, Isis, Astarte, Diana, Hecate, Demeter, Kali, Nana, Isis, Astarte, Diana, Hecate, Demeter, Kali, Nana.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. Naysay, I would love to hear the drumming and singing. Unfortunately, my phone line is not cooperating with me tonight. So if you were to email me a copy, I would happily play it. And it's possible I could even do that while we're in tonight, which would be fantastic. So, anyways, yeah, if you could, that'd be great. If you can't, that's fine too, honey bunch. I get it. So within the powwow events and drumming ceremonies, sometimes those ceremonies were for healing. And it's been long known that you can heal with sound. Now, for some reason, Western medicine doesn't understand that drumming or music in general is good for, they don't understand. They don't get it. So there's actually a fair bit of information out there from those who are not scientists. Brent, if I do it right, I can get it into my TFR program, and it might work. It might not. I don't know. Gotta love Skype. Anyways, so a guided drumming class amongst those who are not Native Americans isn't, hugely different, other than it's often the ceremonial aspect of it is significantly different, I suppose I should say. Often when it comes to drumming circles, it's just lay people hanging out, and they get out the drums and they find a rhythm and they just go with it, and they share the rhythm with those around them, and it just feels good. There's sometimes it causes a trance-like state, and sometimes it's fun. Once upon a time, drums were often used as a way to communicate or to signal others that you need to do something. Think of if you've seen any of the Revolutionary War type TV shows or movies and such. Often there's drums involved in having the soldiers march. Well, that's pretty common because it's easier to march to the beat of a drum, just like it's easier to row a boat to a beat of a drum. The competition rowers, they still use a rhythm of some sort to help them stay on beat with the stroke the stroke of the oars. So yeah, that rhythm is good. It helps us to find our pace, if you will. That's why workout music is often fast-paced, and meditation music or massage music is often slow-paced to get you to relax. They're just the differences there. And actually, drumming is a really good workout for your brain. This is from drnorthrop.com. And I'm using it because it's a good article, for crying out loud. It's a doctor who knows what she's talking about. So drumming is a great workout for your brain and actually can make you smarter because when you drum, you access your entire brain. Research shows us that the physical transmission of rhythmic energy to the brain actually synchronizes both the left and right hemispheres. So when the logical left hemisphere and the intuitive right hemisphere of your brain began to pulsate together, Your inner guidance system or intuition becomes stronger. And listening to drum sounds regularly can also have the same effect as drumming itself. So the sound of drumming generates new neuronal connections in all parts of the brain, and the more connections that can be made within the brain, the more integrated our experiences become. This leads to a deeper sense of self-awareness. Drumming has also appeared to synchronize the lower areas of the brain, the nonverbal parts, with the frontal cortex, which is where your language and reasoning is, and the integration produces feelings of insight and certainty. For these reasons, therapeutic drumming may be a powerful tool in helping retrain the brains of people with some level of damage or impairment, such as ADD, ADHD, after a stroke, or things as, or like Parkinson's. And then drumming itself can cause a bit of a high by increasing your alpha brain waves. So when the brain changes from beta waves, which is concentration, to the alpha brain waves, you begin to feel calm and relaxed. And as such, alpha waves can produce feelings of well-being and euphoria, which can help those with mental illness and things like depression and anxiety. The same alpha wave activity is associated with meditation and other integrative modes of consciousness. So yeah, you got some anxiety you're dealing with, depression, frustration, lack of motivation. Find that rhythm that you can listen to. I listen to a fair bit of folksy type music, shamanic music. Sometimes it's vocalization, sometimes it's just rhythm. The break music that I use for YouTube, yes, that is a lot of I'm using a lot of rhythm there just because it's a driving beat and it feels good. That's why clubs, they have a driving beat. They're trying to get you to relax, let down your defenses, and spend more money, drink more beer, and that kind of thing. But there are some known reasons to start drumming. So it can help with conditions like stress, fatigue, anxiety, hypertension, asthma, chronic pain, arthritis, mental illness, addiction, and possibly even cancer. So that's according to some studies. And according to Dr. Northrup, she's got some reasons here why drumming is good for you. So drumming, just in general, makes you happy. Yeah, I'd say so. So if you participate in a drum circle or cardio drumming class, you will see how happy it makes you. Drumming releases endorphins, enkephalins, enkephalins, that's what it is, and alpha waves in the brain, which are associated with general feelings of well-being and euphoria. Yeah, the rhythm, yes. Induces deep relaxation. So in one study, blood samples from participants who participated in an hour-long drumming session revealed a reversal in stress hormones. So if you're dealing with some stress in your life, which I totally understand, there's a reason why when you get in the car, you find that song with a great beat, you crank it up, and you find yourself just drumming along on the steering wheel. You feel better. There's a reason. And you're letting go of that stress when you're doing that. I don't see a problem with this. Number 3 here, it helps control chronic pain. So drumming can certainly serve as a distraction from pain, and it promotes the production of the endorphins and endogenous opiates, which are the body's own morphine-like painkillers. So if you've got pain issues, try drumming. Kind of like the singing bowl, it resonates with us a bit, and drumming can do the same thing to help reset our pain sensors. Here, number 4, the boosts your immune system. So studies show that drumming circles can boost the immune system. So Barry Bittman, MD, so he's a doctor, he's a neurologist and president of the Yamaha Music and Wellness Institute, has shown that group drumming increases natural T cells, which help the body fight cancer as well as other viruses, including AIDS. So, cure for COVID? Bang your drum. I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding. Does that make sense? A little tongue-in-cheek, but you never know. Bang the drum. Number 5, creates a sense of connectedness. Drumming circles and group drumming classes provide opportunity for synchronicity in that you connect with your own spirit at a deeper level while also connecting with other like-minded people. Yeah, I mean, I remember high school. It's been a few years, but I still remember high school. Band geeks were band geeks were band geeks. Sometimes they participated in other groups too, but often the band geeks were just the band geeks. And, we might not have anybody else to eat lunch with, but you could always hang out with the band geeks. We were a tribe, a club, however you want to put it. We were our own group. And so that sense of connectedness, that's really cool. Danheim's a good one, Justin. Let's see. Drumming can align your body and mind with the natural world. The Greek origin of the word rhythm is to flow. So drumming allows you to flow with the rhythms of life by simply feeling the beat. Yeah, I can go with that. Kind of like if you are at the ocean with the waves hitting the shore, there's a rhythm to it. There's a cycle to it and a rhythm to it, and it's very meditative. If anybody who's been near the water for any length of time, you can feel the energy of it and the relaxation of it to just kind of get into the feeling of the water against the shore. Scald is another good one. Number 7 on the list is provides a way to access a higher power. Shamans often use drumming as a means to integrate mind, body, and spirit. They focus on the whole body and then integrate the healing at both the physical and spiritual level by drumming, which connects the spiritual forces. Number 8, releases negative feelings. So the act of drumming can serve as a form of self-expression. You can literally drum out your feelings. When held, negative emotions can form energy blockages. The physical stimulation of hitting the drums can help remove those blockages. Drumming has even been used therapeutically to help addicts deal with their own emotions. Kind of like when you lose your temper and you punch the wall and it makes a big thud. So instead of a big thud, bang your drum for a small thud, or repetitive thuds. But yeah, just like I mentioned, you're listening to the music in the car. It's got a good drum solo coming up. You crank it up, and you're just pounding on the steering wheel or whatever. Yeah, air drums, that's a real thing. Do it. You'll feel better. Number 9, puts you in the present moment. So while drumming, you are moving your awareness towards the flow of life. And when you're flowing with the rhythm of life, you cannot be caught up in your past or worrying about your future. It allows you to be in the present. So if you're doing a mindful meditation or a guided meditation where you are looking internally and you're listening to the beat of your own heart, it's not quite the same drumming or the same effect as drumming, but you're hearing that inner rhythm. And if you're able to really tune into the focus of your heartbeat, that rhythm is the rhythm of your own life. And once you've mastered it, you can slow it down, you can speed it up. There are Tibetan monks that can do that like nobody's business. There's a lot of Eastern philosophy monk folk that are able, or holy folk, I guess you would put them, that are able to control many of the body's processes to just by meditating and focusing on those specific things. That's why they can go an extended, like, not starvation, but you know what I'm saying. They can withhold, food from themselves or sleep or water even. They just go into this trance-like state and they're just listening to their own inner rhythms. And they're able to slow those rhythms or match those rhythms to the universe, if you will. And it's amazing. Very, very amazing. And number 10 here on the list is allows for personal transformation. So drumming stimulates creative expression. When you drum in a group, you not only get to self-express, but you also get feedback from other drummers. So it's similar to talk therapy. Drum circles provide a means of exploring your inner self and expanding your consciousness while still being part of a community. So yeah, for those of you who've been part of a drum circle, there's give and take. There's ebb and flow. It's not one person, or at least it shouldn't be, one person dominating the drumming with their rhythms and tones and such. It should be everybody participating. And because everybody's participating, you become part of the bigger group, and it becomes a communication. Absolutely. Let's see. Nope, we're going to come back to that one. And let's see. If you have a chance to attend a drum circle, send pictures. I would love them. I'll put them up. Let's see. We're going to skip that. I can skip. Yeah, we'll do this one. Yeah, I got time for this before we get to the break. So, there are some rules, some etiquette to drumming, drum circle etiquette. I'll get to that in just a moment. So, I'll do that now, and I'll come back. When we come back from break, after the singing bowl, we'll talk about shamanic drumming specifically, because I think that needs to be, we'll spend some time there. So, yes, ethics, or etiquette, I should say, in a drum circle. Because, yeah, it's a dynamic interaction. It's like I said, the ebb and the flow. It's a relationship between yourself and the other drummers. It's not just, one person on the street corner banging their drum. If there's several people there, everybody has rhythm they're trying to contribute. So, some etiquette is don't wear a lot of jewelry, like rings, watches, or bracelets while playing hand drums, because metal jewelry can damage the head of the drum as well as the drum itself. So, take your jewelry off to protect your hand and the instruments. Especially if you're using somebody else's drum, you don't want to damage it, because sometimes those drums are quite pricey. Number 2 here is ask permission before you play somebody else's drum. Just like you don't just grab somebody's cup and drink out of it, you might not want to, play their drum. For some of us, drums are very ritualistic in nature, and we don't want the energy that's already integrated into that tool to be changed. It's set, it's specific, it's dialed in, if you will. If somebody gets up to get a drink, go to the bathroom, that kind of thing, don't jump in and take their seat immediately. Sometimes people will hold their seat by putting their sweater or something on it, and that's okay. Or maybe they're laying on their drum on its side because they need to go do something. They'll be right back. Deal with the noisy kids, etc. Don't assume that just because someone stood up that they're done. Listen as much as you play. By listening to what's going on around you, you'll have a better sense of how to fit into the groove that is being created. So yeah, think about it. If you're trying to do a shamanic type drum circle that's very healing, soothing, methodical in nature, and someone comes along and does a rat-a-tat-tat, rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat, rat-a-tat-tat-tat, and when you're just going dum, 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 it messes with the rhythm and the energetic flow. So make sure that you are contributing correctly. And support that fundamental groove created in the drum song. You don't have to be, play the whole notes or every second quarter note or whatever. You want to, express yourself, but you also want to stick within the fundamental groove of it. Number 6 here on the list is, you know what? Leave space for other players. Don't hog the solos. Let other people do it. And remember, it's a conversation amongst the drums, not just one person playing first drum and everybody else's accompaniment. That's not the way it works. Play at the same volume as the rest of the group. If you can only hear yourself drumming, you're probably too loud. And you're dominating everybody else, and you're not really allowing the relationships to play out correctly. Because if you're trying to dominate in the group, and you're there to be a part of the group, that's not really sending the right message. If there's a solo available and you're able to use it, excellent. If you're not quite there, let somebody else do it. Don't hog the solo spaces. Generally speaking, don't smoke while you're drumming. Now, it does vary with the circle, because some circles come with smoking involved, whether it's medicinal in nature or not. But often drumming is a very energy aerobic exercise, and a lot of people don't want smoke in their space. So if you're a smoker and you're drumming and nobody else is, don't light up right there. Step away and take a break while you go have your cigarette. Justin wants to put a drum skin for his steering wheel. There you go. I think that's great. But yeah, you'll want to still toot the horn, because yes. Now, if you've never been to a drum circle and you finally get a chance to go, that's awesome. Enjoy it. Enjoy the excitement. Have fun. And, if you've got questions, don't be afraid to ask. It's better to ask questions and learn than to just kind of assume that you've got it and then you're not harmonizing correctly. If you have rhythm issues, which I get, 100%, I understand if you have rhythm issues. You'll find that even though you're participating in a drumming circle, you will find a rhythm in there. You may not be playing a drum. Instead, you might be playing a shaker, like a rattle shaker, or maybe a wood block. Or, if you ever seen those fish, the wooden fish, and you rub your baton along the fish, it makes a different kind of noise. That's absolutely cool as well. Support the community experience. If you sit and observe, or take the opportunity to observe the other people who are drumming, you're going to learn things, and often you will be able to integrate into the group also. Keep it simple. So if you have a chance to play, go with it. You don't have to, be the star of the show. Just run with it and stick with the rhythm. And it's a practice type of thing. And just like you don't run before you walk, you have to learn the rhythms and the tempo and the variations. Each event is going to be just a little bit different, even if it's hosted by the same folks every time. Because it is a little bit different every time. Ask questions. There are going, especially if you're there at the beginning, there will be announcements. They'll say, hey, if you have any questions, make sure you ask me, and ask so-and-so over here and so-and-so over there, and we'll do the best we can help you out. And the reason for that is because they want it to be a good experience for as many people as possible. Not everybody's going to have fun at a drum ceremony. I get it. So do they. But it is an intimate experience for all of those who are participating. And as such, they want you to have fun and not, suck the life out of everybody around you. So if you're going to drum together, that's awesome. Do it. You don't have to contribute if you don't feel called to contribute, but if you do, make sure you're contributing to the entirety of the experience, not just, okay, well, I'm going to hang onto this drum and then I'm going to do my solo and then I'm done. I'm not going to do anything else. No, you want to be able to get the full experience as much as possible. Now, that's just general rules, not rules, but general suggestions. As I mentioned, each drum circle is going to be a little bit different. The flow of it's going to be different. The tempo is going to be different. And when in doubt, ask the questions. I will always suggest that you ask the questions rather than assuming you know the answers or assuming that you've got it, because that's about the time you're going to realize that no, you don't have it, and oops, or you used awesome. Thank you, Leo. And it's just one of those things. You got to have it. You got to have that energy sticking and melding with everybody around you, not just, not just you playing solo. Because we've all heard that part of the live band playing where the drummer just kind of loses his shit and is drumming and banging the drum and is all over the place, and everybody's like, you lost the song, man. Come back. Hello, we're over here. You lost the rest of the band. It's not a one man band. It's a group activity, if you will. So anyways, we are at the top of the hour, so we're about to go to break. When we come back, we'll do the singing bowl. We're going to talk about the shamanic drums, and actually we're going to talk a little bit about the singing bowls in general also. So we'll be right back. lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. And now it's singing bowl time. Because, yes, we need some bowl. The good stuff, right? Bang the drum, right? Mini-Me had to get out all the bowls when we were playing all the bowls earlier. She loves the same bowls and listening to them play, and she uses these big $10 words. Oh, that's tremendous. Oh, that's phenomenal. Oh, that's beautiful. And it's just funny listening to her because she's just enamored by the bowls. It's awesome. Very, 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 very awesome. So, tonight we're talking about the drumming, rhythm, and the magic of the rhythm and the drums and such. And so for the first hour, we just talked about the drums in general. And I wanted to talk about the shamanic aspect a little bit more, because shamanic drumming it's still drumming, but instead of just for entertainment purposes, it's drumming with intent, if you will. So just got distracted. Not sure what that's about, but okay. I'll figure it out later. Every so often I get things on my phone. I'm like, okay, sure. Yeah, it's like having some random stranger pull up next to you, go on the window, and you roll it down. Can I help you? He's like, yes, I'm here to talk to you about your car insurance. Basically, I get random calls like that at all hours. It's like, what kind of time zone do you guys think I live in here? I think the earliest was 6:30. I'm like, hello? I'm not really awake. I've barely had coffee at that point normally. Yeah. Don't ask me to think before coffee, please. All right, so shamanic journeying and such within the drum, or the shamanic drumming, is trying to put it in words here. It's a trance state, if you will. So the drumming, or the intention of the drumming, is to induce a trance state, often very ecstatic, in order to connect with the spiritual dimensions of reality. So you're being transported by the beat of the drum. So the shamanic traveler will journey to the inner planes of the consciousness and back, based upon the rhythms. A good journey drumming recording should be pulsed at around 3 to 4 beats per second, and at this particular cadence, a drum creates a very wonderful harmonic. And the harmonics are the common characteristic in many sounds used for journeying, such as throat singing, a berimbau, singing bowls, didgeridoo, that kind of thing. Different sounds, of course, can help with your shamanic journey. And this is one of those things that if you're going to do a drumming type shamanic journey, you shouldn't just sit down with your drum and like, woohoo, I'm going to do this. You should have someone with you, not because it's for the faint of heart, but more because sometimes you need a guide, not necessarily to get there, but to come back, because it is an expenditure of energy, and kind of like, that first long walk in the summer or spring with the kids, and you're ready to go because you've been shoveling snow all winter, and it's like, all right, we're going to go for a walk now, kids. And you get about halfway through the walk and the kids are done. And suddenly you have to carry them on the way back. So same kind of thing. You don't necessarily want to run out of oomph halfway through the ceremony. And you can listen to different harmonic sounds, either in nature or man-made, to help you to journey. It needs to be that consistent rhythm, because it is very similar to meditation, if you will. For me personally, I will use the sound of a fan quite often, just because if it's a louder fan, I know it. I have a white noise generator that I can use as well, and because it's something programmable on my phone, it's not as authentic as listening to cicadas in the deep south with the humidity and just that pause, if you will, before a big thunderstorm where the frogs are croaking, the cicadas are singing, and it's just oppressive, or that pressure, that pressure, or energetic pressure, if you will. So you can do different things to help you. You can use waterfalls, the lapping of the water against the ground at ocean or beach. And drumming is something that's been used pretty much around the world to help with your shamanic journeys, just because almost every culture has made a drum. And you can find a lot of guides and step-by-steps on how to do a shamanic journey. But again, I do highly recommend the first couple of them be with someone to help you. If you're using a drum with that 4 beat per second rhythm to it, it'll help induce a theta wave cycle within the brain, and the theta rhythms are often associated with the deepest states of shamanic consciousness. So the researchers have found that a tempo of 4 beats per second sustained for at least 15 minutes, most people can journey successfully in their first attempt. Not always, but generally. So I recommend having someone with you to set a timer so they can alter the frequency or the rhythm of it to call you back at about, especially the first time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, then 15, you work your way up to see how it goes. If you don't have that option and you do have a cell phone or something, a timer that you can set, 15 minutes for the meditation version, and then 5 minutes of the call you back tone. Not necessarily the ringtone, because it's too strident. You want something that's still going to be within the melody or the rhythm of the drumming. There's a book called The Shamanic Drum by Michael Drake, and it's the Guide to Sacred Drumming. And it's a pretty good book. It's one of those I'd probably recommend if you're wanting to get into shamanic drumming, just because it is pretty informative across the board. I'll try to remember to put that on the website. It is a good book, though. Let's see. So when you are in a shamanic trance with the drum, it's you're resonating with the rhythm. And And that's why the binaural beats for babies is they're very receptive to it, because they can feel that rhythm, and it's very soothing because it's similar to the heartbeat and that they heard while being in the uterus. And from there, we become, we're just fascinated by things that go bang in the drumming as we mature. And so shamanic drumming, once we get to that point, it's also called rhythm healing, and it uses the therapeutic rhythm techniques to promote health and well-being. And there are specialized rhythmic drumming patterns that are designed or are thought to help influence the internal rhythmic patterns of the body, and to help of different individuals, and help to harmonize those patterns that might be causing an illness or imbalance. And shamanic drumming or rhythm healing relies on the natural law of resonance to restore the vibrational integrity of the body, mind, and spirit. Sound waves have the ability to impart its energy to a substance such as wood, metal, or the human body, making it vibrate in sympathy. When we hear drumming, our living flesh, brainwaves, and spiritual energy centers begin to vibrate in response. Think about it. Have you ever sat too close to a speaker? You're going to feel it, right? And if it's good music, you can get into it. And you start bobbing your head or swaying to the music a little bit. But if it's music you don't like, how fast does that headache come on, just out of curiosity? For me, PDQ. So with the shamanic healing or the drum healing, rhythmic healing, that drum pattern projects onto the body a very supportive resonance or sound pattern that the body can attune to. So the sympathetic resonance forms a new harmonic alignment, opens the body's different energy meridians and chakras, and releases blocked emotional patterns, promotes healing, and helps reconnect us to our core. Sound patterns also enhance your sense of empowerment and stimulate your creative expression. So for me personally, a lot of times when I have pain in my lower back, it feels like I have an energy blockage in my lower back, and it's quite vexing. And I've found that using the singing bowls helps a lot because I can feel them all the way through. I've heard tuning forks are very similar. So just think of it. If you have a chakra that's just not cooperating very well, and you use the right tuning fork, that's the right note for that particular chakra, and you just set the point of the tuning fork to your skin, how crazy would that feel? Talking about opening your third eye. Yes. So when shamanic drummers are doing their rhythm healing, the sounds that are produced are part of a dialogue between them and the person being treated. The sounds produced by the shaman and the drum, for instance, go out, and certain frequencies and overtones are then reflected back. So the information is received as subtle vibrations, which the shaman can interpret as sounds, pictures, or rhythms. Through trained observation, the shaman discovers the right rhythm for the patient, which is uniquely necessary for their specific situation, and it requires of absolute surrender and trust. So you really have to trust your shamanic healer. If you're not comfortable with your doctor, don't go back to your doctor. Find one that you are comfortable with. If you're not comfortable with your shamanic healer, the healing process is not going to be as accurate or as good for you. Will you get some healing? Yeah, you will, because good medicine is good medicine. But is it the best healing that you could possibly have? The answer is no. So, you want to make sure that you are on the same page as your shamanic healer. So the drummer in the healing process learns how to trust their spirit helpers to play the appropriate rhythm, which they may not know in advance. Often they have a rhythm that they start off with because that's we're getting ready to listen to our spirit guides, and then they figure out the right rhythm for the session. They generally cannot make a wrong choice as they're guided by experience and their helping spirits. Rhythmic drumming creates a profound connection with everything around the healer. The key to shamanic drumming and rhythmic healing is to let the spirit work through the drummer for the purpose of healing and become an instrument of healing. So you're the tool, not the guide, if that makes sense. And in this instance, with shamanic healing, often the healer needs to leave their ego at the door, because if they don't check their ego, they're not necessarily going to hear the spirit of healing and allow the process to work correctly. Now, the healing power of drums, don't underestimate it. Drumming grounds us and connects us to our primordial beginnings when deep resonating vibrations of the beat envelop us. Dreams engulf our entire consciousness during a rhythmic healing session. Shamanic drumming also helps to activate your own natural healing powers. Speaking of drumming, I'm hearing noise. It is raining outside. That is awesome. I thought maybe the train was going by, but no. It's raining. That's fantastic. So when you're part of a shamanic drumming experience and you're there for your healing, even if it's not your healing session, you may still get some benefits from it, because that rhythm is good overall. It can reduce your stress, help with your concentration. How often do we listen to music when we're studying as kids? I know that I listened to a lot of music when I was studying, doing math especially, because yes. It improves your concentration because, I got to focus, right? It encourages the body to desire a healthier lifestyle. So if you're trying to be more mindful of your diet and your exercise patterns and such, a good drumming routine or shamanic drumming and rhythm healing are going to help guide you to the right lifestyle for a healthier you. That doesn't necessarily mean losing weight, by the way. It just means a healthier you. Naysay says, if you become the conduit for healing, the drum will tell you your singing frequency. Now, see, Naysay has an insight that I don't necessarily have, because he does come from the Ojibwe. And so he's been on the drum side of the drum circle, if you will. I just get to listen to the fantasticness. Yes, because that's what it is. And yay, more rain. Drumming just makes you feel happier. I got to tell you, every time I hit the play button on the break music, when the deep rhythms of the music come in, it just makes me feel good. I love that sound. At the start of the show, when I hit play before I start the show at all, it's just like, roar. It just makes me ready to be on the show and do my thing. It's fantastic. You remember, drumming helps you to open up to acceptance of self. It is really hard to accept ourselves at any age. I think kids in grade school are probably the most accepting of self. And from there, it kind of goes downhill, sadly. Teenagers are cruel and heartless, not just to each other, but to themselves. Honestly, 20-somethings are not much better. By the time you're 40, 30, 50, you're starting to come around, hopefully. Not always, but hopefully. But you start accepting yourself more with the rhythm healing. And I think that's something we all need. We really do. And maybe that's why so many people do listen to music with driving beats. Even if it is like a lot of rap, the message is not always great, but the rhythm of it is fantastic. You just have that urge to keep going with it because, the energy of the rhythm and the beat of it is driving, very, very driving. Very driving. And with acceptance of self, it also slows the aging process because the sound waves are moving across your skin and you're becoming more in tune with yourself. it slows that aging process a bit. Not a lot necessarily, but a bit. It's really good for your heart. Think about it. If you're not sure if your heart's beating at the right speed or rate or tempo or anything like that, slow your heartbeat. Listen to something that's got the steady beat to it. And it's like, nope, that's going to be my heart rate, and that's what it's going to be, and I'm going to be okay, and yeah. And because you're working on yourself, the healthier lifestyle and everything else, it's really good for your immune system. Just really, really good. As sound therapy can help flush out so many negative things out of your body, not just the esoteric toxins, but also physical toxins within the body. It can, again, produce the deeper awareness by prompting synchronous brain activity and promoting those alpha waves. And it helps release negative feelings and emotional trauma. So, yeah, how often, okay, a little tongue-in-cheek, and I get it, breakup songs. Sometimes they're whiny, cryy, I'm going to sob into my pillow tonight. And other times it's like, nope, screw that, I'm done, moving on. Nope, not playing this game, I'm done. And that emotional trauma that you experience through a breakup, for instance, or the negative feelings, you've got that driving beat to help drive that energy away. Seriously. Leo in the chat room says, after a drum circle, it does take me a while to calm down from the energy while drumming. Yeah, it's a rush. For me, sometimes after a ritual, I can't sit still. I have so much energy. Poof. I just want to go, 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 go. I am not done. I will literally just go and hug a tree because I am not done. I just have the urge to go. Justin says that I've heard of Himalayan monks moving large stones with drums and sound. He's going to look up the researcher. So there is some speculation, yeah, I think that's the word I'm looking for. People think that it is possible that some of the stones for like Stonehenge or the pyramids were moved by sound. I'm not sure how that works. It's not like they left a lot of tools and a diagram on how they did it. You'd think they would have, though. I mean, stop thinking about it. All those pyramids that were built and nobody left a how-to anywhere. Talking about, hey, look what I did. I'm so awesome. I moved this rock with my mind. It's something so common to society that they didn't see a need to write it down, apparently, which is not today's society because we write everything down. Everything's on TikTok or Facebook or whatever social media. Yeah, it's crazy. Leo will listen to techno-type music with no words. Yeah, there's a fair bit of techno music where they drop the bass. It's like, bum, bum, bum. Yes, I love that. Yes. Because sometimes, yeah, you need that driving beat. For exercise, it's very good to have that driving beat because you're driven to move more and to do more and to be more active. And yes. And yes, that's all. Just yes. So, if you're looking to buy a drum, yeah, what kind of drum are you going to buy? Well, Sound of Music are used to call the energy and the spirit guides, right? So you need to have the right drum for it. So you need to know how it thrums. So you need to find one that resonates with you. Because if you pick up a drum and it's like, wow, it sounds like something my 4-year-old would play with, it's probably not the right drum. So you want to find a sound to it because they can be adjusted somewhat often, but you want to make sure you have the right sound to go with the drum to use it as a tool. Get a tool that fits you, whatever it is. The pitch, or not the pitch, but the temp. Yeah, no, the pitch. I was right. Not the tempo, the pitch. The sound of it, the quality of it. Yeah. So natural rhythm. So often a handheld hoop or frame drum is the preferred choice for shamans or healers. And that's by having a hoop type frame and then stretching the height across it. And often they have a handle which is recycled leather in the back, so you can hold it up a little bit, kind of like instead of balancing a tray of drinks, you're holding on to the drum that allows you to beat against the drum smoothly. So we're going to stop there real quick because, hey, guess what? Bottom of the hour already. Tonight is flying by. So we're going to go to break. When we come back, we'll talk more about drums and then some singing bowls. This is Paisley Wild, and this is The Spaces Between. We'll be right back. Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. So, let's see. In the chat room, let's see. Leo mentions that there's stuff in the Bible talking about drums using, sound waves to bring down the walls of Jericho. Yep, and also involving the ark. And Justin has an 11-piece pearl set with a double kick pedal. I love drums. Band geek, right? I carried a drum in marching band. They thought I had rhythm. Isn't that funny? And Naysay has 2 hand drums. I need a hand drum. Whether I make one or buy one, I'm not sure yet. Because there's some really cool kits out there where you can buy a hand drum. Hey, Suzanne. And I'm thinking that maybe I want to buy the kit and make it myself, just because I think Mini-Me would get just a kick out of making one. That's a lot of it. That, and I like to make things anyways, so yeah. And Leo has a djembe. I think I'm saying that right, djembe. I would love one of those too. I've been keeping my eyes open to, get one that is not horribly expensive, but yet really awesome. We'll see. But yes, I just need to get one because one of those tools you gotta have. I've got the magic wand, I've got the headdresses, I've got a broom, I've got a staff. Oops. Got the singing bowl. I've got all sorts of stuff. But I don't have a drum yet. Yep, gotta get a drum. Oh my, Naysay has an 11-piece drums kit for his daughters since they were 5. Naysay, you are a patient man. Letting a 5-year-old kid play with the drum set? Yeah. I've had kids. My older boys, they like music. I don't know that they're very rhythmic or musical, but they like music. They appreciate it. They just can't really produce it. We'll just leave it at there. So talking about drums, shaman drums specifically, and how to find the right one. So we had stopped at the, how they're generally made, the frame drum with the animal hide stretched across it. Now, generally speaking, the thinner the skin, the higher the pitch, and the thicker the skin, the deeper the pitch. So thin skin would be like an elk, for instance. A cowhide or buffalo, and then moose actually is very, very thick skin. So if you can find moose skin or moose hide to make your drum, that's really cool. But yeah, the deeper or the thicker the skin, or the thicker the hide, the deeper the sound. Now, if you do use true animal skins to make your drums, you do need to protect them from temperature and moisture, because moisture fluctuations can cause skin hides to expand and contract, and just having them out in the rain, not such a good thing, or exposed to the elements, high humidity, that kind of thing. Oh, nice. Suzanne says, I need a tambourine. Yes, I will agree with that one too. Justin says I should make a drum, put my own personal spirit into it. Yep. And wider the radius. Yep. Naysay says he has a 2.5-foot diameter by 3-foot wicker basket full of percussion instruments. They're a very musical family. That's so cool. I want something like that. That'd be awesome. Instead, my wicker basket is full of stuffed animals that the dog likes to steal and run off with, and then the cat steal and run off with. So yeah, good times. Because I was like, what on earth is this, and who, what? Oh, crikey, clean it up. So yeah, I would love a nice hand drum, something deep, the deeper tones. I love the deeper tones. So yes, a different drum is my list here. So there are synthetic drum heads out there nowadays, and Remo Belli was the founder of the Remo Company. He's a jazz drummer, by the way. And he developed and marketed the first successful synthetic drum heads. So they have the benefits of a natural drum, but without using animal skin or trees. So synthetic materials and recycled wood fibers for the frame. So they're very durable, inexpensive, and lightweight, and also weather resistant. So if you're going to be out in the weather, that a synthetic drum would be better. Whoa, so fortunate or unfortunate, the fear of spiders in the basement has less than the motivation to play. Yeah, not really excited about spiders myself. No, not so much. So I can kind of understand that. So Kimber, the boxer, does have a couple of squeaky toys. Yes, they do squeak periodically, and yes, you can play them if you try really hard. Although today she picked up a badminton racket and was running it around. I was afraid she was going to shove it in her throat. Dogs are such goofy creatures. But yeah, if you're going to be outside or in variable climates often, that synthetic drum might be the better solution than a true wooden and hide drum, just because the care of it is different. And the synthetic one's going to be a little bit lower maintenance and a little bit more forgiving if you're going to be, a dry climate one day and then humidity the next. And then the spirit of the drum heartbeat, excuse me. So, some folks do prefer, natural materials when using a drum. Some prefer painted, some prefer plain, some prefer embellishments. And in reality, all of that is up to the player of the drum. And, and Naysay says, critically, everybody has a drum, their heartbeat, natural rhythm when you connect to meditation and focus. And if you have the patience to go deeper, you can hear the rhythm of the earth. Yes. It's a little bit different and it's harder to get to, and takes practice. Remember, I talk about meditation a lot and how to do the different things with meditation and such. And if you are trying meditation for the first time, often you're not going to have the results that you hope for on the first try. You might not, generally not. And that's okay. It's something you just keep doing again and again and again. And the more often you do it, the easier it is. Just like lucid dreaming. The more often you do lucid dreaming, the more control you have. Practice. Anytime you start something new, you don't know enough about it to really do the best you can. So you have to do it again and again and again to get really good at it, to practice at it. If you buy a drum and that's what you want to do, and you don't ever practice at drumming, you're not going to be a very good drummer. So practice, practice, practice. And it's okay to start off, not very good, because you will get there. It will happen. And don't panic because you're not the best drummer in the world. It's okay. Really. So, from drumming and drum circles, I wanted to talk about singing bowls. So a singing bowl is technically a type of bell because it does produce a deep tone when played. It just doesn't have the clapper in it. So Himalayan bowls or Tibetan singing bowls help promote relaxation. They have some healing properties. I know they're pretty doggone soothing. Buddhist monks, Tibetan monks have been using singing bowls in their meditation practices pretty much forever. We'll just leave it at that. Nowadays, singing bowls are becoming more and more popular with hypnotherapists, music therapists, massage, yoga, that kind of thing, because the sound waves are good for treatment and for meditation. Yes. So with the Tibetan singing bowl, the vibrations that the bowls produce can affect, the article here says may affect, will affect, it can affect the mind and the body. Some people, they listen to the singing bowl and they're like, that's nothing, and they ignore it. Deep down, is that true? Are they really truly ignoring it, or are they just scoffing at it because they don't want it to show that sensitive side? It could go either way, but they're still having a reaction to it. Sound waves, or the sounds that the bowls create, may impact brain waves in order to induce relaxation. If I'm feeling stressed and I play my singing bowl, yes, I relax. And singing bowls can have similar psychological effects to listening to music, or benefits as listening to music. And singing bowls have been around for a fair bit of time, and have been used in sound therapy for a long time, basically. Yeah, very, 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 very big deal. Sound therapy can involve pulsing sounds, clapping, drumming, singing for ceremonial, spiritual, and health purposes. But yeah, that singing bowl, you can be rhythmic with it, or you can play it so it's resonating. Naysay says meditating with a heartbeat while focusing, plays your most sensitive finger or your ring finger over your wrist for your pulse. Then try listening deeper to and find your heartbeat. Yes. Again, it's something that takes practice. If you're not quite sure how to do it, it takes a little bit to find the right spot. But yeah, your ring finger will pick up your heartbeat. Now, interestingly, even though science has been studying the benefits of drums, they've missed the singing bowls completely. They haven't done a lot of studies yet. I'm sure somebody's out there getting ready to waste money on singing bowls and the benefits. But singing bowl therapy can help with your stress relief. Similar to drumming, is that the musicality of it is good for stress and anxiety, depression, all the things that are bogging you down. It helps clean it out. Singing bowls can help you sleep. So singing bowl therapy has been linked to a decrease in anxiety and tension, so it can help sleep. Further research is needed to support this for sure. Well, I know that my white noise app has a singing bowl setting, and if I'm having a hard time going to sleep, I put it on the singing bowl setting and I am out. Even if I've been fighting, trying to get to sleep for hours and I'm done, it's like, nope, no more. I can't do this anymore. Turn on the singing bowls and yeah, I'm down. Pretty much in a moment. Singing bowls can lower blood pressure. So there's a preliminary study back in 2014 that was published in the American Journal of Health Promotion, and it examined the benefits of starting a directed relaxation session with 12 minutes of singing bowls and found a greater reduction in systolic blood pressure and heart rate compared to silence before the session. So singing bowls are good for you. They're good for the heart. We know this already, but just saying, good for the heart. Singing bowls can help reduce depression. And so singing bowl therapy can improve mood. And there's suggestions out there that it's a pretty low-cost way to help reduce the symptoms of depression. Singing bowls can also stimulate the immune system because they can change the brain waves or pain relief. So if you look at chronic spinal pain, some people found that when they're treated with the singing bowl therapy, they experience significantly decreased pain intensity as well as decreased stress. Now, is that a placebo effect or a true effect? They're not sure. They want to do more studies. I know that when I was working at Zero Point, we had a gentleman come in and he wanted to hear the singing bowl. So I was playing a singing bowl, and often, just because I'm playing the bowl, I'll have the people touch the back of my hand so that they can feel the vibrations. And now this particular gentleman, I had him hold the bowl, and I played the bowl while he was holding it. And with one hand, he could feel the vibrations, but only went up about halfway up to his elbow from the palm of his hand. It's like, all right, well, that's weird, because normally people feel it up in their shoulders and through the rest of them. And so he switched hands, and from when we played the bowl in his other hand, he felt the vibrations of the bowl all the way up his arm and into his chest, and he was like totally freaked out. He's like, well, why didn't it work here? It's like, well, when did you have your accident? And I just looked at him, I said that. He goes, what do you mean? Well, basically, he'd had a motorcycle accident or something, and so he had a lot of scar tissue in his arm, and that scar tissue was preventing the sound waves from traveling correctly through his body, and so they were being blocked because of the damage to his arm. And he's even more blown away that I just so when'd you have your accident? Because I knew that there had to have been some sort of outside force that stopped or altered, I should say, the tissue that was in his arm, so it blocked the sound. And with a few music sessions, so in talking to him, we changed hands and went back to he was holding that bowl, and we changed the notes a little bit. I think we started off with an A, and that wasn't quite the right one. Let's see. So the A, trying to remember, is, I'm just double checking. Doodle-doo. So, yeah, A is the third eye. So it really didn't do much for him. And instead, I wanted to work on his root chakra, which is the C. And in doing that, he was holding it, and it kept playing the bowl. And by the time we'd been using the bowl for about 15 minutes, he was starting to feel the sound vibrations move through his arm, and it was totally creeping him out. And it was awesome. And so one, we need to remember that not everybody likes the feeling of a singing bowl, which is sad, but it can harmonize the body and it can balance the body. So this is someone who had a problem, and the scar tissue, I don't know if it healed or just kind of changed slightly to let the sound waves go through. But yeah, balancing and harmonizing the body is a really big deal. And using the singing bowl to harmonize the body and reset the body a little bit, basically balancing the body's energy system, is good. And if the body's more balanced, there's less pain. It really, truly, I'm speaking from experience here, guys. And sound therapy, especially with the singing bowl, can help with other healing practices, such as meditation or deep breathing. And now, those of us who are more into the Eastern traditions, like herbology or homeopathy or sound therapy, that kind of thing, we accept these statements as pretty much surface and acceptable, and we're not like, you got to pay attention to risks and the fine print and everything. But some people do. So basically, they haven't done a lot of studies on the singing bowl, so not everybody's going to have the same benefits. And honestly, just like any other thing out there, not everybody's going to have the same reaction to everything. So it's okay. Some people are going to have a stronger reaction and heal faster, and some are going to be less. Now, if you are prone to headaches, for instance, if you are too close to a singing bowl, it might give you a headache. And some tones are not going to resonate with you because you have a headache. And that's just normal. I know when I have a migraine, there's some notes that I just, nope, go away. I'm not going to play. So another caution actually is for pregnant women, which I find quite interesting, is because the effects of pregnancy are not known, you might want to avoid sound therapy if you are currently pregnant. Well, with all the binaural beats and other types of music out there that are specifically for babies in utero, I think this is just kind of an inflammatory statement, honestly. But you have to do your own research and educate yourself as much as possible. And if you feel it's not going to be for you, then maybe it isn't. Now, people with epilepsy or spasmodic episodes of some sort might not do well with singing bowls because the sound vibrations may trigger seizures. And if that's the case, you need to let your shaman know or your sound therapist know this. Like, hey, just so you know, I might have a little bit of an issue with the vibration of the bowl. So maybe don't put it on my tummy because that would be bad. So just be aware. Be mindful of the people that you're working with if you're doing sound therapy. So to use Tibetan singing bowls, often for the session, they'll have someone lay on the floor and they'll put the bowls in different configurations around the body and or maybe on the body or maybe in other locations around the room. And then they make the different sounds with the bowls and they keep going throughout. They hit all the different bowls as they're doing and they come back to it. It's okay. I was reading the 2 different ways to play the singing bowl. Basically, it's the same way, just written twice, and so it confused me. Yeah, so if you're doing a healing session or energy work or something with the singing bowls, make sure you do some research first. And sometimes a little bit of guidance goes a long way when it comes to singing bowls. And this is something you're going to want to journal. You're going to want to write down what you did, maybe take a picture of the layout or what you did with the bowls, because it's not so much like you're going to lay them down on their back and you're going to put all the different chakra notes for a set of 7 at the different chakra points. What if they're fluffy and there's no place for you to put a bowl? I mean, that's a real possibility. Or maybe they're allergic to metal. A friend of mine, we tease her that she's descended from the Fae. It doesn't help that she's short, but she's highly allergic to metal. She cannot wear anything metal at all. And to the point where she uses plastic silverware more often than not because even the metal sometimes will irritate her mouth just by eating a bowl of cereal with a spoon. So we tease her about her metal allergies because we can. If you go out to buy a singing bowl, try to find a reputable retailer. Yes, there are quite a few on Etsy and Amazon and other online retailers. You want to make sure it's ethically sourced or correctly sourced. Just it makes sense, and yeah. Let's see. So Wanda says my bowls sound better if they're balanced on my hand compared to on their mats. Same here. I have the little donut stand, and honestly, the 5 Buddha bowl, the big one, it sounds pretty good on the stand or the mat, whatever the donut. But the other ones all sound better in my hand. They just do. So generally speaking, though, the biggest danger from a Tibetan singing bowl is dropping it on your toe because they are made of metal. It's a whole alloy. What are singing bowls made of? So the alloy. Let's see. Even Healthline has are Tibetan singing bowls dangerous? No, they really aren't. That's not what I want. What are they made out of? It's like, copper, zinc, gold, oops, not add to the cart. I want to learn more about it. Thank you. Learning more about it. That's not what I want. You ever look for information, think you're on the right website, and you're like, nope. That's not the one. Nope, that one's not it either. Yeah, it's the gold and silver, mercury, lead. There's quite a few different chemicals in there or metals in there. So not really something you want to lick or eat out of. And yeah, you probably don't want to drop one on your toe because, yeah, that'll hurt a lot. Oh, it's the end of the show. Good night, you guys.